You glance at the clock. 30 minutes left. The message still glows on your phone screen, unreal and electric. Elon Musk just sent something to your house. Surprise arriving soon. Your first reaction isn't excitement. It's disbelief. Someone must be joking. Maybe a friend hacking around, maybe a scam, maybe one of those odd online rumors that spread like static. But then you see the small blue check, the unmistakable name, the timestamp from an official account that shouldn't have your number. The words don't vanish when you refresh. They just stay there, calm, definite, heavy with possibility. 30 minutes, you pace. The air in your room feels charged, the way it does before a thunderstorm. Every tick of the wall clock sounds louder than it should. Your mind races through questions. Why me? What could he possibly send? You've read about people who get life-changing calls, random chances that open the sky above them, and always assumed those stories happen to other people, somewhere else. You've dreamed, yes, but quietly. The kind of dreams that live in notebooks and late-night walks, the ones you don't even tell your closest friends because they sound too wild, too big for the small routine your days have become. And now this. You step toward the window. Outside, the afternoon light hangs soft, almost hesitant. Cars pass by, unaware that something enormous might be heading your way. You watch a delivery van roll down the street and feel your pulse quicken, then slow again when it turns the corner. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's everything. You think about Elon Musk, the way he moves between ideas that most people only dare to joke about: Mars colonies, electric revolutions, neural interfaces, tunnels under cities. You've admired that stubbornness, that refusal to believe in limits. You've also wondered what it takes to keep going when the world calls you crazy. 27 minutes, you sit at your desk. Your laptop hums softly. You open your browser, half tempted to check if this kind of message has happened to anyone else, but stop yourself. Something in you wants to feel this moment raw, unfiltered by explanation. You close your eyes and breathe. What if this isn't really about a parcel or a message, but about timing, about the universe nudging you, telling you it's time to step forward? Maybe the surprise isn't something you'll receive, but something you'll become. You smile at the absurdity of that thought, but it lingers, pulsing quietly in the back of your mind. Then, a sound. A low hum outside, mechanical but distant. You lean closer to the window. A drone, sleek and silent, hovers far above the rooftops, moving deliberately toward your street. Your heart skips. No way. You run downstairs, every step echoing in the stairwell. The front door feels heavier than usual when you open it. The air outside carries that faint metallic scent of coming rain. The drone is descending now, gracefully, like it knows exactly where to land. Neighbors glance up, murmuring to each other. Someone starts recording on their phone. The machine stops right in front of your gate. A small compartment slides open, revealing a polished black case with a silver emblem. the stylized X from Musk's new ventures. The case lowers gently onto the ground, and the drone lifts away, disappearing back into the sky as if its work here is done. The world goes silent for a second. You can feel everyone watching, waiting for your next move. You kneel and pick up the case. It's heavier than you expect. Smooth to the touch, humming faintly as if alive. There's a biometric scanner on the side. Your reflection stares back at you in its glass surface. You hesitate, then, instinctively, you press your thumb against it. A soft chime. The lid opens with a quiet hiss. Inside is a letter, real paper, thick and cream-colored, the kind people used before screens took over. On top of it sits a small metallic sphere, no bigger than a tennis ball, engraved with the same X logo. The sphere emits a faint blue light that seems to pulse with your heartbeat. You pick up the letter. The handwriting isn't printed, it's ink, slightly uneven, undeniably human. The future favors those who act before certainty. You once posted an idea I haven't forgotten. You said the world doesn't need another dreamer, it needs dreamers who build. I agree, use this. You'll know what to do. You stare at the note, speechless. A shiver runs through you. The idea he mentions, you remember it now. A late-night post you wrote months ago, half rant, half hope, about how people keep waiting for permission to start. It got a few likes, disappeared into the scroll, and you forgot it. But apparently, he hadn't. You turn the sphere in your hands. The blue light flickers, and suddenly a thin beam projects upward, forming a floating holographic display. Lines of code appear, then morph into blueprints, something like a compact clean energy generator. Modular and simple enough for small communities, your breath catches. It looks revolutionary, but understandable, like something that could be built by anyone with enough willpower and curiosity. At the bottom of the hologram appears a single phrase, prototype starts with you. For a moment, you don't move. The noise of the world returns, birds, footsteps, distant conversation, but everything feels different now. The case, the note, the sphere, they're real, yet they also feel symbolic, like an invitation written in electricity. You take it inside. Your hands tremble, but your mind is sharper than it has been in years. You clear your desk, set the sphere down, and watch it hum to life again. The blueprints rearrange themselves into layers, parts, instructions, materials. It's almost as if it's teaching you step by step. Your mind flashes through doubts. I'm not an engineer. I can't possibly build this. But another voice interrupts, quiet and firm. You don't need to be ready. You just need to begin. The phrase feels familiar, something you used to tell yourself before life's routines dulled your courage. You take out a notebook, the same one where you used to write ideas that never left the page, and start sketching. The more you draw, the clearer everything becomes, not just the design, but the purpose. This isn't about building a device. It's about building belief again. 20 minutes left, your phone buzzes again, another message, short and cryptic, everything great starts somewhere small. You've got this. You laugh quietly, half in disbelief, half in awe. You don't know if it's Musk himself texting or some automated system, but the words land exactly where they should. You begin searching your shelves, drawers, garage, gathering anything remotely useful, wires, circuits from old gadgets, tools you haven't touched in years. The excitement erases hesitation. You're no longer waiting for the perfect plan, you're following momentum, your fingers move faster than your thoughts. You solder, assemble, test, fail, and try again. Sparks fly. The hum of creation fills the air. Every small success feels monumental. 15 minutes. You realize something profound. This moment isn't about the surprise at all. It's about the decision you just made, to act. You could have waited, doubted, dismissed the whole thing as a hoax. But instead, you moved. And that single movement shifted the entire universe around you. You can feel it, a current of possibility, invisible yet undeniable. Another message arrives. You'll see the rest once it's alive. You look at the sphere again. The blueprint hovers midair, waiting for completion. There's one last connection point glowing red. You attach the final wire, hold your breath, and press a small button on the base. The room fills with light, a surge of warmth spreads from the device, not burning but alive, like standing near a campfire that knows your name. The blue glow steadies, then projects a line of text into the air, Phase 1 activated. Congratulations. You step back, speechless. For the first time in a long time, the future feels tangible, not something distant that belongs to other people, but something breathing right here, in your hands. You sit back in your chair, staring at the hum of the small prototype. Your reflection in the metallic surface looks different, more awake, more certain. Outside, the sky begins to darken with the first signs of evening. Somewhere, miles away, Elon Musk might be in a meeting, unaware of the silence that settled over your home, the silence of new beginnings. Or maybe he knows exactly what's happening. Maybe that's the point. You glance at the clock. 10 minutes left. The message had said 30 minutes left. 30 minutes until what? Until this? Or is there more coming? Your phone buzzes one last time. The message is simple. Every generation has a spark. I just sent you yours. Now make it catch. You stare at the words until they blur. Then you smile, a real, unfiltered, disbelieving smile that feels like sunlight inside your chest. You don't know what tomorrow will bring, but for the first time in years, you don't need to. You've already begun. You stay seated for a while, listening to the soft vibration of the small device on your desk. The blue glow has faded to a steady white pulse, quiet and alive. You can feel something invisible connecting you to it, like an echo of all the choices that brought you here. The hum becomes the rhythm of your own heartbeat. You reach out and touch the sphere again. Its surface is warm now. When your fingertips brush across the top, a thin beam of light expands into a new projection, not blueprints this time, but data. Numbers, graphs, streams of information spinning and reorganizing until they form a sentence across the air. Transmission in progress. Transmission. You frown. To where? The light flickers, then changes. A small map appears, centered on your neighborhood, then widening outward, as though the signal is reaching satellites above the Earth. You remember the thousands of satellites SpaceX has launched, the way they form a web of light across the night sky. You watch the dots blink one by one, connecting, until the word linked appears on the projection. You whisper to yourself, "What are you doing, Elon?" Your phone buzzes again, a new message. You're now part of a live network. Don't be afraid of what happens next. Build. Improve. Share. The world's waiting for examples, not explanations. You sit there, stunned. It feels like a challenge disguised as a gift. Every part of your brain that used to hesitate, the cautious, logical part that always found reasons not to start, has gone silent. Only instinct remains now. You take a deep breath and start documenting everything: sketches, readings, little notes about how the energy fluctuates, what the color changes might mean. You film short clips, explaining your thoughts out loud, because some part of you feels that someone might need to hear this later. As you work, you forget time. The minutes stretch into hours. The small room becomes your lab, your universe, filled with the quiet hum of potential. You fail, fix, and rebuild again. Every mistake feels like progress because it keeps you in motion. The next morning, sunlight hits your desk, refracting through the still glowing sphere. You haven't slept, but you don't feel tired. You feel alive. You plug the prototype into an old power meter to see what it's drawing, and freeze. The reading is 0. It's not consuming energy. It's generating it. The implications hit you all at once. This tiny device is feeding itself, cycling its own output, and still creating a surplus. You open your laptop, run simulations, double-check everything. The numbers don't lie. You lean back, staring at the device that hums softly like a heartbeat made of light. You realize, with quiet certainty, that this could change everything. You think about the billions of people who still live in the dark when night falls. The villages off the grid, the children studying by candlelight. And then you think about your own hesitation, all the times you waited for permission, for resources, for the right moment, but the world doesn't change when it's ready. It changes when someone decides it's time. You start building a second prototype. You order parts online, make calls, borrow tools, repurpose old machines. The sphere seems to respond, its light pulsing brighter when you test new ideas, as though it knows it's being improved. Days blur into one another. You lose track of meals, hours, even weather. What keeps you grounded is the feeling of movement, of becoming. Then, one evening, you post a short clip online, nothing dramatic. Just a quiet video showing the small device powering a light bulb without any external source. You add a single caption: "What if energy didn't have to cost the earth?" You close your laptop, expecting nothing, but the next morning, your notifications explode. Thousands of messages, questions, reactions. Some people call it fake. Some call it impossible. But some, engineers, scientists, dreamers, ask how they can help. You stare at the flood of messages, your pulse racing. Somewhere deep inside the chaos, there's a new message from an unfamiliar contact labeled simply X Research. You open it, keep going. We're watching your progress. The next step is scalability. Don't let doubt dilute momentum. You laugh quietly. That sounds like him again, direct, unapologetic, demanding. You glance out the window. The street outside looks the same, but you know it isn't. Because you're not, you start documenting every step more carefully now, building with intention. The more you work, the more it feels like a conversation between you and the unknown. The sphere's light changes color with your progress, pale gold when stable, deep violet when it detects an error. You talk to it sometimes, half jokingly, like a friend who understands more than it should. Within weeks, your workspace evolves into a small lab. Boxes of materials arrive, some from anonymous addresses, all containing exactly what you need. You stop questioning the coincidence. Your friends start noticing the change in you, the light in your eyes, the quiet confidence in your voice. They ask what's going on, but you can't quite explain. How do you tell someone that one message changed everything? That 30 minutes turned into a lifetime's purpose. You invite one friend over, an old classmate, a practical engineer who's always believed in numbers more than dreams. You show him the device. He studies it for a long time, silent, then looks up and says softly, "This shouldn't be possible." You smile. "That's what I thought." He laughs, shaking his head. "You know what this means, right? If this works on scale." You nod. "I know." You stay up that night running calculations together, refining circuits, trying to stabilize the energy loop. There are setbacks, sparks, failures, but every time you fix one, the light grows steadier, and then one night, it happens. The second prototype powers an entire workshop. Lights, computers, tools, everything runs on the small core. The air hums with quiet victory. You sit down, exhausted, exhilarated. Your friend grins. You realize people will think we're lying until they see it for themselves. You shrug, smiling. Then we'll show them. The next morning, you upload another video, longer this time, more detailed, showing the readings, the process, the failures, and the success. No dramatic music, no hype, just truth. Within hours, it spreads across the internet. News outlets pick it up. Scientists debate. Investors speculate. Some call it the next revolution, others call it a scam. But underneath all the noise, something undeniable stirs. Hope. That evening, as you scroll through the chaos of comments and emails, another message arrives. Good. You've woken them up. The real work begins now. Check your door. Your heart skips. You stand, half afraid, half exhilarated, and open the door. There's a car outside, sleek, silver, silent. The same emblem gleams on its hood. A driver steps out, hands you a small envelope. Nods once, and drives away. You tear the envelope open. Inside is a ticket, a single invitation with 2 words printed in bold, Starbase, Texas. And beneath it, handwritten again, come see how far ideas can go. You stare at the ticket for a long time. Your hands tremble slightly. It's real. All of it is real. You pack lightly that night, just essentials, your notebook, the prototype carefully sealed inside a case. You barely sleep, heart pounding with a strange mix of fear and faith. The flight feels like a blur, the world outside the window turning from cities to clouds to desert. When you land, a car is waiting. No one says much. The driver seems to know exactly who you are and where you're going. You arrive at a vast complex near the coast, massive hangars, rocket silhouettes against a pink horizon, the hum of machines dreaming of other worlds. The air tastes like ambition and salt. As you step out, a voice calls your name. You turn, he's there, Elon Musk himself, walking toward you, casual as if this were any normal day. He smiles slightly, extends his hand. You made it. You shake his hand, still half disbelieving. I don't even know what to say. He laughs quietly. You don't have to say anything. You built something that matters. That's how you speak. You walk beside him through the hangar. Engineers and researchers glance up, curious but respectful. He gestures toward a massive workspace filled with prototypes. Machines, and screens showing live data. He points at your small case. That's the reason we called you. You triggered a signal we didn't expect. You weren't just testing an idea, you were syncing with a larger network. The technology you've built could power entire colonies sustainably. You stare at him. Colonies? He nods. Mars. The Moon. Off-grid Earth. Anywhere humanity decides to exist. You built a key without realizing it. You swallow hard. I'm just someone who started tinkering in my room. He shakes his head. You're someone who started. That's what matters. The words hit you like light. You walk together to a massive window overlooking a rocket being prepared for launch. The sun is setting, painting everything in gold and fire. The sound of turbines fills the air. He turns to you. Most people wait for certainty. But the future is built by those who move before it's safe. You've proven that. You look at him, at the horizon beyond the glass, and suddenly everything makes sense. The message, the 30 minutes, the device, the sleepless nights. It was never just about technology. It was about momentum, belief, courage. He smiles again, almost softly. Keep building. And don't stop, no matter what the world says.